Mario Basco. He's on the domestic violence.
Okay.
I see him sitting in the court.
Mario Basco.
Gawain Grant representing Mario
President
Basco.
Domain,
Okay.
you have an attorney.
So your client's been charged with an aggravated battery, domestic violence related. Do you have any comment regarding probable cause today?
Well, based on what I see on the report, Judge, there might be probable cause, Judge, but this report doesn't give the full picture here. My client lives with his girlfriend. The girlfriend works at CVS. So this ex-wife goes all the way to CVS when my client is picking up his girlfriend. She follows him all the way to his home and then have the altercation. I want the court to take that into consideration and set it in a bond, Judge. And I'm asking for a bond of about $5,000.
Okay. All right. Steve, identify probable cause. Are there any priors on this gentleman?
He was arrested in 2012 for false imprisonment and battery against the same alleged victim. Those charges were null pros.
Okay, and got anything else?
Let me
ask you, what does your client do for work, sir?
He's a security guard.
All right. How long does he live down here in South Florida?
He's been down here about 4 to 5 years.
Okay, and
put everything together, put one total
is he a homeowner?
No, he's renting, Judge. He's renting. He lives with his girlfriend. He's now divorced. Live with his girlfriend.
What about finances to bond out? Does he have any?
He does not. He doesn't own a house. He's going to depend on friends and relatives to post his bond, Judge.
Yeah.
Line for an address.
Go ahead, Steve. Do you have any comment on that bond?
Well, Your Honor, I mean, looking at the injury she suffered, it says 2 fractures to her left arm, 1 to her left wrist, and 1 to her left elbow. I mean, it seems that there's a high level of violence alleged in this case, Your Honor.
It does say he used his right foot to kick her, to kick her to the ground, continue to kick her about 10 times. Swelling to her right wrist, right knee, redness scraped to her right knee, redness scraped to her upper left arm, pain all over her body. She suffered 2 fractures to her left arm, 1 to her wrist and 1 to her elbow. Says he fled the scene as the victim called 911. She was taken to Florida Medical Center. They were once married, now divorced. They have a 1-year-old daughter in common.
That's correct, Judge. And she followed him all the way to his home. You know,
Well, I understand that. And maybe she shouldn't have done that, but
Judge,
women's are in 2 places.
this is gross exaggeration, Judge. I mean, after this incident happened, this still goes to his girlfriend's job to harass the girlfriend. She doesn't have those type of injuries.
You think that she really doesn't
It's
have
gross exaggeration, Judge.
Your Honor, this is from the hospital, Your Honor. I mean, she was taken to the hospital. I don't think the doctors are going to exaggerate for her benefit the injuries.
Yes, Your Honor, I spoke with her this morning. She is in the sling, and she did give me the specific. She read that there was a scapula fracture, elbow fracture, radial fracture. She also stated that she was in she wants no contact. She was previously threatened to kill himself and her in 2012 from the incident that was reported. After
Mr. Gant, the court understands your argument, but the court's very concerned about the safety of the alleged victim, the level of violence, the past threats to kill. He's been arrested in the past for allegedly abusing the same person. The court's going to set his bond at $25,000. Pre-trial release, GPS monitor. The court will waive the cost of the monitor. The court will order that he has no contact, directly or indirectly, with Monique Basco. He is not allowed to contact her directly or indirectly. No telephone calls, text, emails, notes, or letters. You're to stay 500 feet from her at all times. That is where she lives, works, goes to school, anywhere in between. You are not allowed to possess any guns, any weapons, any firearms while you're on release. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, sir. Okay. Now, ma'am, this group, I think you were here next. Come on up. Do you have a case on the docket? Excuse me.
Yeah, it's froze. Look it. You thought they were just standing there.
Yeah.
It is froze. Okay. Hold on one moment.
keep you here.
That's not.
You know that you want that already?
Ivy should have a copy of it.
Mr. Basco, the court has set your bond at $25,000. Ordered you not to have contact with the alleged victim directly or indirectly. Stay 500 feet from her at all times. Your attorney knows about this, and apparently he's working on getting you bonded. Thank you, sir.
Your last name? No, my
Thank you.
last
How about Dontrell Dukes?
Outside. Basco. Outside, sir.
Dukes, you're charged with a violation of probation. We have people here on your behalf. Could I have both of you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth?
Not you. You're not testifying.
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am in the white top, tell us your name.
Samantha Phelps, I'm his mother.
Okay, thank you for coming to court. And your name, ma'am?
Sophia McCall.
And you're the mother, you're the girlfriend, or?
Yeah, the mother of his child.
Okay, great. Well, Mr. Dukes, you're here for a violation of probation, signed by Judge Hames. He ordered you to be held without bond, and he will see Judge Hames on June 30th at 9 a.m. You know Judge Hames, H-A-I-M-E-S, and that's June 30th at 9 a.m. All right, do you want me to write that down for you?
Yeah.
You do? Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that is in a few days. Well, I'm thinking that's all the way next month. My mind will gone.
Judge Hames is in the north wing on the other side.
Is there any way that we can get in contact with his public defender?
Sure. Do you know who that is?
We don't know. I don't know if he's gonna sign for one. The third floor. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. What's the room number?
30 and 72.
Just ask where the public defender's office is. People will tell
I know
you
where
down
it
the
is.
hallway, right?
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, good morning, everyone. My name's John Hurley. I'm your judge this morning. We're in first appearance court. Today is the day the court determines whether or not there is probable cause for your arrest. We're not here for a trial, not here to determine whether you're guilty or not guilty. That is not for today. You should not tell us about your case. You should save those any comments you have, defenses, excuses, explanations for your attorney in a private meeting. You don't need to share them with us today. Understand you have the constitutional right to remain silent. Utilize that right at all times. But if you give up the right to remain silent, whatever you say can and will be used against you. Also, if you have a private attorney, when you're called up, let us know who that is. We'll contact your attorney and let them know you're in court this morning. Yeah. Sir, the back.
Judge, may
Yes, sir.
I call one out of order on behalf of one of my colleagues?
Sure.
Michael Young is on page 9 of your docket. He's here on a trespass. He has a court date this morning in a felony courtroom.
Okay.
Mr. Young?
Michael Young. Okay, Mr. Young, you're here for trespassing, and I assume he has an open case right now. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so state,
I would just ask the court to. He's on his way to see the judge now, and I guess that judge can revoke his bond in that case if he wants to.
Right, I agree with that. I'm going to just set his bond. Just tell me the last time he was in on this. I assume you're not working. Is that correct, Mr. Young?
Not consistently, but I do work. I'm
Right.
a painting contractor.
Do you have any money in the bank?
Nothing.
My question was, why are you out of line?
All right, it
Just to
says
give
here
you-
you're hanging around a 7-Eleven. It's a chronic problem. And it said you drink beer, you threaten people, and urinate on the property on a daily basis while you're impaired by alcohol. Go ahead.
And just you might remember him, just to give you an idea. The case he's out on is an attempted strong arm robbery. Before that, January this year, he pled out a trespass where he was trespassing at an AA meeting.
Oh, I remember that.
Before that, battery, last year, disorderly conduct last year, disorderly intoxication 2012, disorderly conduct 2011, failure to leave property.
So the court's going to set your bond at $250. Order you not to return to the 7-Eleven food store in Pompano, and you have to stay away from that plaza. Thank you.
Judge, I would ask court now if you could please direct BSO to bring him to courtroom 6870.
Okay, I'm going to ask the jail to please make sure this gentleman gets to room 6870 as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Back in the room. Which case are you here on?
Brianna Birch.
Brianna Birch, come on up. Miss Brianna Birch, please. Miss
Main jail.
Ma'am, you're charged with a domestic battery. The court finds probable cause. So tell us, you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Tell us your name.
Courtney Ziegler.
And how do you know Miss Birch?
That's my girlfriend.
Do you have children with her?
No.
No? Okay. It says she swatted you in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, how did the police know about this? Did somebody call the police?
Yeah. The rent office, from in my house, my complex.
Okay. Have the police been out there before?
No. That's the first time. Yeah.
Okay. And are you in fear of her?
So, excuse, I need
fear of
No.
Birch? Do you think she's gonna hurt you if she gets out? No.
No. It was a big misunderstanding that shouldn't went that far when I tried to prevent it from going that far, but the animosity between the same time, both people were angry, and then it just.
Does she ever have any guns or weapons?
No.
Do you think if I let her out of jail, she's gonna do anything to you?
No, she's not. Yeah.
State, does she have anything?
Judge.
What does she do for work?
Right now she can't work because her child got diagnosed with sickle cell. So by law they told her not to tell her until 2.5 years old she can't get a job until then.
I understand. State anything? I don't think so.
No, Judge.
No, I'm going to release her on her own recognizance. I'm not going to order her. Thank you.
Okay. Good luck.
Elizabeth Antigua.
I didn't have contact with anyone else.
North Broward.
Yeah. Okay, Elizabeth Antigua, ma'am, you've been charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Court finds probable cause. Who's that? Okay, go ahead. Okay. Same person. Okay.
Judge, would the court do a mental health screen, and after inquiring about her, making an inquiry of her finances, if she does qualify, to ask the court to appoint the PD's office to represent her?
Okay. I'm going to order a mental health screen, and let me, ma'am, are you currently employed, Miss Antigua?
Yes, I'm a shift manager at Pizza Hut.
Do you have any money in the bank right now, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Okay, how much do you think you have?
I have nothing in my regular, but I have about 1,000 in my savings.
Okay. And do you own any land or property down here in South Florida, ma'am?
No, I live with my mother.
Do you have children?
No.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. It is was there a contact, do we know, with the Elizabeth?
No, Your Honor.
No? Ma'am, allegedly you ran over your boyfriend, revved the engine. He tried to take refuge in a front yard of a home after he bailed out of a vehicle. Says you then drove over the grass and a stone wall, striking your boyfriend with your vehicle while he was standing in the driveway. And it says the victim recalls landing on the windshield of the vehicle, then falling off the vehicle onto the driveway. You're currently out on release right now for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon on the same person. So, no, we see. No, a battery, I'm sorry. You're out on a battery on the same person, so. Today, ma'am,
In our system, it says this guy has
I'm going to set your bond at $50,000 based on this court's concern for the safety of Mr. Gonzalez. I'm going to revoke your pretrial release on 15-5989 MM10A. You're going to be held without bond, and the court will order you have no contact with Jonathan Gonzalez directly or indirectly. Don't call him, don't text him, don't email him. Stay 500 feet from him at all times. That is where he lives, works, goes to school. Anywhere in between, you're not allowed to possess guns, firearms, or ammunition while you're on release. Thank you.
Judge, will the court sign an order appointing the public defender's office? Thank you.
Okay, what about George Rochberg?
Your Honor?
Main jail.
Your Honor, we put this on recall. I might be asking for it to be reset for the afternoon. A detective might be coming in on the case.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set this for this afternoon, all right?
Oh.
It was the bottom of the last case.
Okay. Go on out. You're coming back this afternoon. Mark. Kenneth Chance. Kenneth.
Okay, now, who's this gentleman we have right here?
Judge, this is Kenneth Chance. He's the next person on the docket.
Mr. Chance, count 1 is a possession of cocaine. Count 2, you're on probation right now. Count 1's 1,000. Count 2, probation violation. That'll be no bond. I'm going to call out the warrants right now. Thank you, sir. You're going to be held without bond.
Thank you, Judge.
When I call out your name, please line up. When I call out your name, line up. Adriana Gomez, Tiara Jones, Carol Thomas.
This is Miss Gomez, Judge.
Miss Gomez violating probation, no bond. Tiara Jones.
Tiara Jones? Bonded, Judge.
Thank you. How about Carol Thomas?
No, per hour.
Whatever happens, just write it down.
Violation of probation, no bond, ma'am. Thank you. How about Nigel Mitchell, Geronimo Sebastian, Alfonso Valle, and Ryan O'Donnell?
Judge, this is Nigel Mitchell.
Nigel Mitchell, 2 violations of probation, both no bond. Geronimo Sebastian.
Mr. Sebastian speaks Spanish, Judge.
Okay.
Siguiente paper, por
Just
favor.
wait a few minutes. All right, thank you. How about Alfonso Valle? Sir, violating probation, 1,500. Thank you. How about Ryan O'Donnell?
I don't have a court date. No court date.
Court ordered misdemeanors, count 1, 2, no bond. Count 3, violation of probation. When I call out your name, please line up. Please stand right in a line right up at the lectern. Tyrone Harris, Steve Ranco,
Tyrone,
Angeles Etienne, and William De Padua Araujo.
This is Mr. Harris, Judge.
Okay, Tyrone Harris, you have a warrant on a misdemeanor for theft. It's a $250 bond, sir. Thank you. Steve Ranco.
Good luck, Mr. Harris. Judge, Mr. Ranco's attorney is Michael Renetto out of Sunny Isles.
Okay, Michael, who's that?
Renetto is the best I can get out of it.
Jennifer Cross.
Do you happen to know his number, sir?
You know Mr. Renetto's phone number?
No, unfortunately.
No, sir.
Michael Renetto. How do you spell his name? Do we know?
Well, I spelled it R-E-N-E-T-T-O, but that was phonetically spelled.
Okay. Can you look up Michael Renetto down in Sunny Isles?
One moment. I'm not getting anything.
No?
Judge, Mr. Ranko is advising me that Mr. Renetto has actually represented him on Broward cases in the past. Perhaps we could go that route through Odyssey?
I don't know. I'm going to reset it for 1 o'clock today in any event.
I'll try to get in touch with him.
Thank you. How about Angela Zedian?
Good luck. We'll see you after lunch. Conti.
Conti, Your Honor.
Count 8, you have a warrant for $3,500 for dealing in stolen property. Thank you. How about William DePadua Arajo?
Your Honor, if you could just give us a couple minutes, he's on his way from the unit now.
How about Jack Potts, Terrence Wilkins, and Charles Frith?
This is Mr. Potts, Judge.
Mr. Potts, sir, you have violation of probation, no bond. How about Terrence Wilkins? Sir, violation of probation,
Judge.
no bond. Charles Frith.
This is Mr. Frith, Judge.
Violation of probation, no bond. Moriak Deuce, Charles Harge. Deuce and Harge.
This is Mr. Deuce, Judge.
Okay, violation of probation, no bond. How about Charles Harge?
President Devane.
Violation of probation, no bond. Lois Portney, L. Tanisha Clark, Crystal Lewis, Lisa Hitzmacon.
This is Miss Portney, Judge.
Excuse me, Miss Portney, resisting arrest without violence, ma'am. What finds probable cause? He said you were discharged from some Broward Addiction Recovery Center, and then on your way out, you allegedly pulled a fire alarm. Go ahead, state.
Are you on probation?
Ma'am, are you currently employed?
Yes.
What type of work is that?
Retail.
Do you have any money in the bank?
Theft.
I have a child.
Theft and resisting without violence that you just put out April 23rd of this year. Tampering with the witness or victim, 93. Delivery of cocaine, 93.
Judge, are you interested in playing Miss Portney out?
Well, I think Miss Portney's going to get a charge of false fire alarms.
I didn't know.
Not if you clear her out today.
They say you they have you on video surveillance pulling the fire alarm.
Your Honor,
on video.
I can tell you also, her last case you sent to mental health.
Okay, ma'am, I'm going to set your bond at $100. I'm going to send this over to Judge Lerner Wren. Thank you.
Judge, will the court do a mental health screen, and would the court consider appointing the public defender's office, get the ball rolling, try to get her in court earlier?
No,
these are mental health issues.
Okay. Now see L. Tanisha Clark.
I told I'll just bring them just in case they were separate.
Your Honor, North Broward has William Depedu whenever you're ready.
Okay. Tanisha Clark, L. Tanisha Clark, giving false information to obtain a refund and unlawful possession of personal ID of another. Court finds probable cause. Steve, do we have any criminal record on Miss Clark?
One moment, Judge.
No, I do not. I can't tell you what to do. I just do paperwork.
Can you do pre-trial release or something?
She was picked up in Broward County 2 weeks ago for failure to appear in court for failing to appear at arraignment on a resisting without violence. She let's see, was picked up in Broward County June 8th of last year for failing to appear in court. Again, February of last year for failing to appear in court. Late December 2013 in Martin County for failing to appear in court.
All right, ma'am,
False ID, law enforcement 2013 in Melbourne.
I understand. Ma'am, are you currently employed?
No.
Well, then that's why we
You, what year was the false ID in Melbourne?
I'm sorry. Yes, Your Honor. She also had other failures to
What year
appear.
was the false ID in Melbourne?
That one was in. Moment, Judge.
Ma'am, are you currently employed?
No.
Do you have any money in the bank?
No.
How long have you been down here in Broward?
About 2 years.
Okay, ma'am.
Well, I stay in Miami. It's
That was-
Miami, really.
You have a Melbourne address, though. Go ahead.
That was in 2012, and I see about 3 or 4 other failures to appear prior to
Yeah,
that.
based on your failures to appear your prior false ID, count one's going to be $250, count two's $100. Thank you. Don't go back to that Walmart, ma'am. How about Crystal Lewis? Ma'am, trafficking in cocaine, possession with intent to sell, deliver cannabis. For defense probable cause, you and your alleged boyfriend were allegedly selling 47 grams of 47 grams of cocaine. And 84 grams of marijuana, I believe allegedly found at your house or apartment. Go ahead, state of their priors.
Yeah, Your Honor, domestic violence battery at a day 2012. That is all, Judge.
All right, ma'am, are you currently employed?
Yes.
What type
Yes.
of work? What type of work do you do?
I work at DNC. At a restaurant.
Do you have any money in the bank?
I have a few $100.
Who's going to help bond you out today, ma'am?
I have to make a few calls.
Ma'am, you're looking at minimum mandatory prison sentence on count 1 of 3 years. And then I'm going to reduce your bond on count 1, ma'am, to, you have a prior domestic battery. I'm going to reduce your bond on count 1 to $7,500, ma'am. Count 2 will be $1,000. Your total bond's $8,500 today. It's based on the amount of cocaine and also based on your criminal record. Thank you. How about Lisa? Lisa Heights,
North Broward.
Heights,
North Broward. Stand on the edge.
Ma'am, you're charged with possessing heroin and drug paraphernalia. The police say they found you and another woman, I believe, sleeping behind a dumpster with
put it over there.
needles and heroin. And go ahead, Steve.
Prostitution 2013. Out of Minnesota. Actually, her charges were dropped. The charges out of Minnesota were dropped, Your Honor. Well, actually, I'm sorry, Judge. She was convicted of Tracy, you showing what the offense was? Oh, drug offenses out of Minnesota, late 80s.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Ma'am, are you currently employed?
No.
Do you have any money in the bank?
Not really. I'm on my way to go to rehab in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, ma'am. Your address looks like it's a homeless shelter down in Hollywood. Is that correct?
No, I recently moved to Hollywood, Florida. To Fort Lauderdale, Florida. With a friend of mine. He rents me a room.
Okay. Ma'am, based on your criminal record, the facts of the case, court's going to set your bond at $1,000 on count 1. Would you like me to put you in the drug program in the jail if you can't make bond?
What is that?
If you can't make your bond of $1,000, would you like me to put you in the drug program if you can't bond out of jail?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
An order for staff. Thank you.
Also do a med order, med screen for her.
Here you go. Naomi Paul, Samantha Long, Jennifer Cross, and Norda Winkler.
Ms. Paul is present at the main. Mr. Ossall, are you prepared to argue probable cause?
For who?
Naomi Paul.
Ma'am, you've been charged with aggravated child abuse.
Mr. Shaw?
Judge, we have an argument for probable
What
cause.
were the injuries?
Go ahead, sir.
That's the point. Judge, there's no factual basis for the injuries. The admission allegedly made by Ms. Paul in this case is that she inflicted corporal punishment. Is that right? Punishment on the child with her hand. Although the alleged injuries are classified as intentional inflicted harm, there is no factual basis for what the injuries are. There's no allegations of bruising or bleeding or any other factual basis to reach the conclusion that this is in fact aggravated child abuse. This could very well be just a misclassified parental punishment. I don't know. There's no facts to know. I would argue that the probable cause falls short of, the facts contained in the probable cause affidavit falls short of probable cause.
Your Honor, whether it's classified as child abuse or aggravated child abuse, I don't think it can be classified as anything else when the victim is 18 months old. And the issue is that the child will not stop moving when she's trying to clean his ears. I don't know that could be classified as discipline of an 18-month-old. And whether it's, Your Honor, finds PC for child abuse or aggravated child abuse, I would note there were injuries that were observed. While it doesn't go into specifics what they were observable and noticed by a by more than one medical professional.
Judge, again, I don't even know if there's probable cause for child abuse. There is not enough facts contained in this probable cause for this court, in my opinion, to make a decision as to whether probable cause exists.
I understand, sir. I understand your position. Just reading here. Hold on. It's charge under C. A person who knowingly or willfully abuses a child without causing great bodily harm, permanent disability, permanent disfigurement to the child.
There's no. All of these individuals are
It's a felony in the 3rd degree. So knowingly, willfully abuses a child without causing great bodily harm, permanent disability, or permanent disfigurement to the child commits a felony in the 3rd degree. So the question here is, did she abuse the child? Even though the child was not severely injured, it says she admitted to verbally stating that she popped her child numerous times on her bare buttocks. And it says here that the injuries were reviewed and examined by more than one medical professional, and the injuries are such that they have been classified as intentional inflicted harm. The question is intentional inflicted harm?
Well, that's why I'm also asking the court to take into consideration the age of the child. Can it really be considered any form of benefit of disciplining a child at 18 months old?
Yeah, court's going to, based on the totality of circumstances contained herein, find probable cause. State, are there any priors on Miss Naomi Paul?
One moment, Your Honor. No, there are not.
No. Do you have anything you want to say, Mr. Miller, on behalf of the defendant being able to post bond?
Judge, Ms. Paul is a lifetime resident of South Florida. Been living at the same address for 22 years. She's a stable resident. She has a job. She works at Teleperformance. Been there for over 5 months. She has 2 children, age 4 and 1. Strong family ties, no money or real estate. She's going to rely on her family to bond her out. I would ask the court to release her ROR with the condition that she follow any conditions set forth by DCF in this case.
Ma'am, based on the level of violence, the court's concerned for the safety of the child. The court's going to set your bond at $1,500. order you have no contact with SJ, Sierra Juliet, until a judge or DCF or ChildNet allows you to have contact, and you have to follow any rules or guidelines set down by the judge, DCF, or ChildNet. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. 1,500. Thank you.
Judge, and we object to the finding of probable cause without sufficient facts.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
1,500.
Mr. Rubencheck, can I help you with something?
Yes, Judge. Apparently Christopher Hicks is on your docket this morning because there's a change of charge capious.
Christopher Hicks?
I have a motion for bond reduction scheduled before Judge Singal this morning. If we can just let Judge Singal, the trial judge, exercise his discretion with regard to the original bond as well as a change of charge.
The only other issue, and it doesn't matter to me whatever the court wants to do, count two, because there's an ad charge, and because of the bond schedule, it's currently no bond. If you want to let Judge Singal handle that, I have no objection to that.
Okay, so that the change of charge is a non-bondable offense, so I'll need an Arthur hearing now?
No.
Oh.
It's bondable under the new bond schedule.
Okay, there's no bond.
There's no bond until his first appearance.
Okay, so on Mr. Hicks, I don't see Mr. Hicks, so he's probably on his way over there. They've probably already taken his body. I'm not going to take any action.
Let me just make sure. Let me just make sure that that's where he was.
Yeah, it's a possession of firearm by convicted felon, no bond.
Okay. Is he, there you go.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Samantha Long, Jennifer Cross,
Could you give this to the ASA?
Nora Winkler.
There is a gentleman that you called earlier at the North Broward jail. They called me earlier.
Yeah.
All right. Could you, Your Honor? I'm showing that Hicks is at North Broward. Could you maybe want to check, make sure they don't have him there and they brought him to court?
Yeah. Do you have Hicks at North Broward?
Your Honor, he's in another courtroom according to our record.
Thank you. Samantha Long.
Wanted to make sure
Miss Long escaped.
Main jail.
What finds probable cause? Allegedly, you were on some type of program where you were to go to work while you were in the Hollywood Community Release Center. Allegedly going on your way to Power Smoothie. So you say you never came back. Go ahead. Stay
Yeah, Your Honor. I mean, she's got a $10,000 bond. I'm checking to see if there's anything else. I know there's. She was brought down on a transport order signed by Judge Siegel. I guess her hearing is scheduled for next Tuesday.
Ma'am, I'm going to let you go see your judge. I'm going to leave your bond at $10,000. Thank you. How about Jennifer Cross?
Good luck. Main jail.
Ms. Cross, grand theft auto. The court finds probable cause. Ma'am, it's alleged that here that you dropped your car off somewhere to get repaired. They gave you a loaner car, and then you never brought the loaner car back. So, go ahead, state. Do we have any
attorney?
priors?
Are you going to hire your own?
No, Judge.
Mr. Miller, anything you'd like to say, ma'am? Ma'am, what do you do for work right now?
I'm not currently working at the moment.
How long have you lived down here in South Florida?
41 years.
All right. And do you still live on 34th Avenue?
It was a temporary address.
That is but that's your address. Your mail goes there?
Correct, yes.
Okay. I understand. Ma'am, I'm
Judge
going
Mitchell.
to release her on her own recognizance today. Thank you.
Yes, Judge. All right, good luck.
Nancy Norda Winkler. Okay. Norda Winkler.
She's a Judge, she's in North Broward. If I may go sidebar with this case.
Hey, you want to put it on the telephone? Call me?
Yes. Yes,
Well, I
please.
think they're saying.
We pressed on hard.
back on. Go ahead.
Well, did you want to say it was a med reset?
Yeah. What is your original?
It was originally set at 50. It was a robbery with a weapon. It looks like it's now a strong arm.
I'll set her bond today at 20,000. It's originally 50. I'll bring it down to 20. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, who was over there at North Broward that we skipped?
William Depedu.
Okay, because they called me earlier. Depedu? You called it earlier, and they asked for some time to bring him up.
William Depedu.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
I assert count 6, corruption by threat of a public servant. And
safes.
Give me a moment.
Documents on safe. Okay. Go to. Ask him.
Sure.
Do you have a lawyer, sir?
Document processing. Court case number.
Not yet, sir.
Court case number.
Okay. Are you going to hire your own attorney, or are you going with the public defender?
I'm going with the public defender.
Okay, sir.
See that? I have a job. I'm a hardworking individual. I want to get back to work. Just help me bond out.
Yes, sir. Your bonds give you $1,000. Good luck. Thank you.
Judge, but the court to an abundance of caution is still a order a mental health screen. Oh, okay. All right.
Already did that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kimberly Dixon, Scott Wade, Sydney Thompson, and Josie Guillerme.
If I can be released today. Judge, Mr. Wade is president of Maine. I would ask the court to consider his level of cooperation with the
Kimberly Dixon, Paul Ryan, Your Honor.
Okay. Let me just go to Kimberly Dixon first. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Kimberly Dixon, burglary of a conveyance. Court finds probable cause, ma'am. State, do we have any purse on Miss Kimberly Dixon?
Wade? That's the guy with the vacuum cleaner with the $299.
What?
Scott Wade was the $299 vacuum cleaner guy.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, so his level of who's here from Tampa.
Yeah, okay, so what about Kimberly Dixon? What's
One moment, Judge. Yeah, I don't have anything. Well, hold on. Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, it's just a change of charge, Your Honor.
What was it before?
I'm being told it was $10,000 originally.
Ma'am, I'm just going to put your bond back at $10,000 today. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. All right, Scott Wade. Scott Wade just got out of jail yesterday, I believe, for stealing a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, it was the $299 vacuum cleaner from Kohl's.
He had friends of his that left him here, and they took the truck back to Tampa, and then now he allegedly goes into is it a Target? Walmart, and he allegedly steals from Walmart now. 2 thefts in a matter of, what, 24 hours or so? Yes, sir. Anything you'd like to say, Mr. Miller?
Yes, Judge. We are seeking to resolve this case. I'd ask the court to consider the level of cooperation with the loss prevention officer. Mr. Wade is advising that he was given information relating to resources that are available for him to obtain a bus ticket returning into Tampa upon his release. We would like to avail himself of that. Ready to plead this case out if the court is so inclined.
Yeah, the court's not inclined. The court's going to set your bond at $1,500. Your second arrest in 24 hours, sir, and you can bond out. If you do it again, you bond out. I'll just revoke your bond the next time. So good luck going back to Tampa. Thank you.
It's either a really coincidence or they know what they're doing.
Judge, just to clear the record, he was in jail for 5 days.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so it wasn't within 24 hours.
Sorry, okay.
Within 24 hours of his release, it looks like.
Yeah, 24 hours of your release, not 24 hours. The first one, you sat in 5 days and got out and then went and committed allegedly another battery, another theft right away. Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Judge. Okay.
Okay, so, Sydney
You want us to
Thompson.
resolve?
Yeah, I just want like time served. I'll give him a couple days, no probation.
Judge, Mr. Thompson is president of Maine. He is interested in resolving this case if the court is so inclined.
You want to plead no contest to cannabis, I'll withhold adjudication, you're out of jail. You're not going to have a trial, it's over with right now. Is that what you want to do?
Okay, one moment, Judge.
Same thing would go for Jose Guillaume, the next person. If they want to plead out, go ahead.
Mr. Thompson is ready to plead, Judge.
How do you plead, sir?
No contest.
Okay, I'll withhold adjudication. Same.
Thank you, Judge.
Same goes for you, Mr. Guillaume.
Your Honor, this is the drug court, though.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It's back in 2012.
I'm just letting.
You have to
Mr.
do
Guillaume.
it. You have to come and actually do it.
He said the same thing for me.
Right. He's
Yeah,
offering you a
same
plea.
situation. You want to plead no contest, your case is over with today? Or you can be
Yes, sir, Your
held,
Honor.
be held without bond for a few days and go see your judge. What do you want to do?
No, I want to resolve it because I have to go take care of my mother. She's dealing with dialysis.
Understand.
She's
How
in
do you
home
plead?
dialysis. So I have to. Oh, no contest, sir.
I'll withhold adjudication. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Alfred
How about
Rodriguez.
Alfred Rodriguez,
This is
Floyd
also-
Patterson, Dervana
Are you
Troy
Alfred?
McCoy.
This is also at a drug court, and this is the K piece is just from April 1st of this year.
Understand. Alfred Rodriguez. So you're here for drug court. So would you like to plead no contest to possession of cannabis?
Do you want to resolve the case today and go home?
Yes, I'd like to resolve the case today as soon as
Okay.
possible.
Sir, do you understand you're not going to have a trial? The case is over with today?
Yes, indeed.
How do you plead, sir?
I plead no contest, no
I'll
contender.
withhold adjudication. Thank you. Floyd Patterson.
Judge, Mr. Patterson is president of Maine and also interested in resolving
I
this case.
understand.
if the court is so
Patterson
inclined.
County Library, right downtown Fort Lauderdale, laying on the ground. It would not get up, even though they asked you to leave. Refused to get up. They said you told the police just arrest me.
I wasn't laying on the
When was the
ground.
last
I was laying on
time
the
Floyd
wall.
Patterson was in?
So,
January 24th for felony charges of fraud, theft, a KPS on an alcohol violation, and a VOP and a theft. He was county sentenced, was released May 21st of this year.
Right. Okay.
I don't know if you want me to keep
All right.
going.
I don't know why Floyd wouldn't leave the library. Floyd, would you like to resolve your case today, Floyd?
there you go.
Yes, sir.
Floyd, just don't go back to the public library, all right? Don't go on the grounds there, all right? They don't want you there.
Thank you, Judge.
If you, Holly, come on
Yes,
back.
sir.
Do you want to plead no contest today?
If that's gonna send me home, yes, sir.
All right, do you understand we're not going to have a trial? The case is over with right now.
If that means I'll get out of here, yes, sir.
Okay, how do you plead, sir?
What I gotta plead? No contest.
Okay, I'll withhold adjudication. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
How about Dervana Troy McCoy?
President of Maine.
Criminal mischief. Allegedly kicked a vehicle with a woman and her son in it because the vehicle hit the front tires that allegedly crossed the white line at the traffic light. So he kicked it and put a dent in the car. Stated there prior to Mr. Troy McCoy, sir, do you still live on Southgate?
Yes, sir.
What's your address?
7166 Southgate Boulevard, Tamara, 33321.
All right, sir, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance today. You'll have to come back to court in the future, all right?
Yes, sir. When is that?
Yeah,
They'll
just-
send you
if
a
you could just order
court
the-
date in the mail.
No contact, just an abundance of caution.
You're done.
No contact with the people.
Good luck.
in the car.
Where do I go to get changed? But that's up to them. Thank you.
If we are on my side, you're done. Do you have children? Okay. How many?
Renee?
Right, just remember to put yourself on the record.
My clothes.
On the record. You know.
Could you update the address for me right here? You didn't say Boulevard here.
You have to go.
Thank you. Okay. You see Douglas Brenez, Ronnie Bacon, Richard Segabarth, and Gerson Adequin. Okay, where is Douglas Brenez?
Judge, he's present at the main. He believes that counts 2 and 3 in this case were resolved already.
Okay. Count 1 is wanted, I believe, out of Dade County. And then count 2 is theft, 3 unlawful use of personal ID.
Right, those are the cases he believes were resolved already.
Well, we're here on June 25th. This allegedly happened June 25th. He thinks count 2 and 3 are resolved.
Wait, who is this?
Judge, the only thing I can do is report to you what my client tells me.
What's his BCCF number?
No, but I'm saying for the warrant. I got arrested for a warrant.
198541.
You're saying the Dade County warrant?
I mean, I understand I was arrested because I have a warrant.
Right. You're charged.
These are new offenses.
Okay, just tell me if he has priors.
Sorry, Judge. Sorry.
Count 1, you wanted out of Dade County. 2 and 3 are petty theft and unlawful possession of someone else's ID. Are you currently employed, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
What type of work do you do?
I'm a salesman.
Do you have any money in the bank?
Yes, Your Honor.
How much do you have?
I have like $1,000.
Do you own any land or property here in South Florida?
No, Your Honor.
Yeah, he went through a diversion program from an 09 case in Dade for forgery, counterfeiting labels. And I think this is what
count 1 is.
This is it's a counterfeiting case. I don't know if it's from that case, but.
Okay, so now clearing it up, Judge, he believes that the Dade County case was resolved.
Well, again, time will tell, So, sir, I'm going to set your bond. You've already got a forgery counterfeiting case out of Dade County, and now in Broward, you're allegedly committing a fraud using someone else's credit card and ID to get into a hotel. Court's going to set your bond on count 2 will be 1,000, and count 3 will be 1,000. You can bond out, sir. It's based on your criminal record, the facts of the case. Thank you. How about Ronnie Bacon?
Mr. Bernez would like to address the court.
Your Honor, I was using my father's credit card and my father's ID to pay the hotel. And the officer called my father, and my father told the officer that he approved me to have his credit card and his ID. So
yes, sir. Thank you. Merci, Ronnie Bacon.
If I could just have one moment, Judge.
We're not going to, I'm not going to air this, try the case right now. We're going to move on to the next case. Move out of the way, sir. Sir, could you move out of the way? What's this gentleman's name? There you go. There you go. Ronnie Bacon.
Ronnie Bacon.
Ronnie Bacon.
Present at the main.
Mr. Bacon, possession of a weapon or ammunition by a convicted felon. 2, carrying concealed firearm. And count 3, probation violation. No bond. 4, a warrant on a misdemeanor. 500. Count 2 is going to be 1,000. Thank you. How about Richard Segabar?
Sorry, Judge, what was count 1?
I didn't give him a bond on 1. I just gave him 1 on 2. All right?
Is that Bacon? I'm Bacon?
A bond on 1?
Yes, he does.
Okay, I'll set the bond on 1 at $500, all right? There you go.
Thank you, Judge. Off you go. Good luck.
How about Richard Segabar? Sir, hi. You're charged with license suspended. So the court is looking at your driver's license here. It's expired in 2009. Right now, failed to pay a traffic ticket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. and failure to appear on a traffic ticket. So I'm going to let you bond out today. Your bond's $750. Thank you.
Judge, before we move on, in an abundance of caution, could I ask the court to please order a mental health screen on Douglas Bernez, the gentleman that was just here a moment ago?
That's for pre-trial.
Last time, Wilkie.
Thank you. No, you don't give permit.
How about Gerson Adequate?
Alfonso Hall.
Present at the main.
Mr. Walden. Deputy Hardy, page 18.
There you go. How about Gerson Adequate, sir? You're charged with possession of PVP, known as FLACA, and trespassing. The court finds.
Okay, everybody have an answer. You're on your own.
Do we have any priors on this gentleman?
Your Honor, Todd Sauer on behalf of the state. I'm only showing an arrest in 2015.
That's this case.
Oh. Then, Your Honor, I'm not showing any other priors.
Now, what do you do for work, Adequate?
Nothing yet.
No? Who do you live with?
You have an attorney?
I ain't got no job yet.
Who do you live with, sir?
I'm homeless.
You're homeless? How long have you lived here in Broward County?
2 years.
Where's your family?
Belglade.
Where?
Where?
Belglade. Belglade.
Belglade?
Belglade, yeah.
All right. Sir, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000 based on your lack of ties to the community. Thank you.
One moment.
How about Toriano Shaw, Antonio Treza, Ronald Miller, and Earl Brewer Sander?
Judge, before we move on from Mr. Adequin, would the court entertain entering a SAP order for him?
Do that. Thank you. How about Toriano Shaw?
Okay, good luck. Have a seat right there, please. Shaw? Yes. Present at the main.
Mr. Shaw, 2 counts of trafficking cocaine. Count 3, possession with intent to sell, deliver cannabis. 4, possession of a weapon or ammunition by a convicted felon. And court finds probable cause. Just give me a quick moment.
Judge, we have an argument for count 4.
Go ahead, sir.
Judge, I read the probable cause affidavit. Perhaps I missed it, but I didn't see anything relating to either a weapon or ammunition being recovered at the scene. I would argue there's no probable cause for count 4.
Okay, I'll read.
You might not have the second page.
It says, we obtained a search warrant for Shaw's residence, and it says that execution of the warrant, approximately, it said cocaine and marijuana was found. A 9mm Ruger handgun was located. Post Miranda, Shaw admitted knowledge of the above cocaine, marijuana, and handgun. It should be noted that Shaw is a convicted felon, has been sentenced to prison 3 different times, most recent being 2009.
I withdraw, Your Honor. I didn't see the second page.
I understand. Go ahead, State. Do you have, it goes without saying he's... anything you want to say on behalf of this defendant's ability to post bond, sir?
No, Judge, I didn't get a chance to interview him. If you wish to
Shaw,
inquire,
are
I
you
have no
currently
objection.
employed?
Yes, sir.
What type of work do you do?
No, I'm unemployed.
Do you have any money in the bank?
No, sir.
Outside.
Okay.
You're
Who's
on
going to
it.
help you bond out today?
Here?
My cousin,
Okay.
family members.
Go ahead.
The court should be aware of his criminal history.
Go ahead.
And Your Honor, I am showing starting back in 19...
Go to most recent.
Spanish interpreter, please. Morning.
Starting 2012 there.
Right here.
Resisting without violence there.
Your Honor, I'm showing that he had a resisting without violence, a tampering with that. Resisting without violence in 2012, looks like a possession of cannabis under 20 grams in 2013. Tampering with that right here. Possession of cocaine in 2009 and possession of cannabis with intent to sell in 2009. He did over 12 months in state prison on both of those counts, as well as possession of cocaine, where he did over 12 months in prison in 2009.
Based on your criminal record, the facts of the case, the fact that you allegedly will, the fact that you're facing minimum mandatory prison sentences on count 1 and 2, along with the amount of drugs allegedly involved in this deal, of course, setting your bond, $15,000 on 1, $15,000 on 2. Count 3 and 4 will be $1,000. Thank you. We're going to go right now to call up our Spanish speaker real quick. Now see Geronimo Sebastian.
Geronimo. Could you step back, please? Oh, thank you.
Geronimo Sebastian. Ma'am, do you swear or affirm to translate from English to Spanish, Spanish to English truthfully to the best of your ability?
I do. Patricia Crystal, certified court interpreter.
Sir, you're charged with violating probation.
Señor, se le acusa de quebrantar el régimen probatorio.
That is a no bond hold.
Esta es una detención sin derecho a fianza.
Count 2, you have a warrant on a misdemeanor.
Cargo 2, usted tiene una orden de arresto por un delito menor.
That is $500.
Y el monto de la fianza es $500.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Would you like to make an announcement for Spanish, ma'am?
You're not going to see it there. Click on here.
Es todo, señor.
Yeah.
You want to make an announcement for Spanish?
There's Odyssey.
¿Hay alguien más que necesita los servicios de la intérprete de español que no habla inglés?
Do you know what it is for the password?
I only have my...
Just do
Okay.
Password
Thank you. I don't know if you
SBIQ.
knew this, but there's another monitor
SBIQ.
right over there. Did you know that?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So
Okay.
sometimes people like to talk this way instead
Now
of
go
turning
back to
their
the
head
case
around.
number.
It's up
No,
to
no,
you.
case number.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sure.
May I see
still got it right
Antonio
here.
Treza, sir, possession of cocaine and trespassing.
14-160.
Court finds probable cause. Do we have any priors on Treza?
One moment, Your Honor. CF10A. On that. Let the judge know he's out on bond for... Go back to this. Tell the judge he's out on bond for possession of cocaine, DWS, habitual offender, and drug paraphernalia.
And Your Honor, it looks like this defendant is currently out on bond for possession of cocaine, DWLS, and possession of cocaine.
What's the case number?
And the case number on that is 1416082 CF10A.
16082. CF10. A. Sir, today I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. Your bond on 1416082 CF10 will be revoked. You'll be held without bond. Thank you, sir. Here you go. What about Ronald Miller? Mr. Miller, you're charged with possessing alprazolam and possessing a controlled substance without a prescription. Court finds probable cause. Sir, how long have you been down here from New Jersey? Turn on that mic for me.
Were you arrested by yourself?
About a month, Your Honor.
And what was the reason you came down here from New Jersey?
To move with my stepdad and try to work with him.
Okay, and have you been working since you've been down here?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
What type of work have you been doing?
Been doing construction with my dad.
Okay. Steve, do we have any?
He has a lot of priors. He has priors from California, Nevada, Pennsylvania, New York.
Do you own any
Some
property?
highlights.
Fugitive from California. Arrested in Miami for.
Sure.
2008, another battery that was dropped. Nevada, he has
Years ago.
possession of controlled substance, and looks like of April this year. Out of the Pennsylvania, 2010, looks like a robbery case, receiving stolen property, simple assault, theft.
Okay, so I'm going to set your bond at 1,000 on 1 and 1,000 on 2 based on your criminal record and the facts of the case. Thank you. How about Earl Brewers Sanders, or Brewer Sanders?
Yes, Mr. Brewer Sanders is present at the main.
All right. Earl Brewer Sanders, sir, robbery. Court finds probable cause. Allegedly a strong-arm robbery at a BP gas station. Forcibly took a woman's phone, asked to use her phone, and then swung your hand down, struck her in the arm. She stated she sustained an injury. You began running, picked up the phone and began running away, and were subsequently caught. Allegedly, court finds probable cause. Are there any priors on this gentleman?
And Your Honor, I am showing that it looks like he has prior possession of cannabis in 2014, as well as resisting without violence in 2014. I'm also seeing a possession of cocaine in 2013.
We also had a strong-arm robbery, Your Honor, 2011.
All right. Do you have anything to add on this defendant, sir?
Judge, no. If the court wishes to inquire, I have no objection.
Okay, sir. What do you do for work right now?
Right now, currently I'm just washing cars, cutting grass here and there,
Right.
trying to make a little living.
Do you have any money in the bank?
No, sir.
Okay, sir, I'm going to set your bond today at $15,000. You have a prior strong-arm robbery, prior drug charges, and now you're charged with robbery again. I'm going to order you have no contact with Lucretia Carter directly or indirectly.
Let him finish. Now, what do you want to...
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, you can look at that probable cause. You can just look at it. It said a BP gas station. I was at the BP gas station getting beat up. If I ran and it happened at the gas station, that's two different places.
Yes, sir. All right, well, you may have a good defense when you get to trial. Thank you. Good luck. Jose Rosa, David Willingham, Jaworski, Eddie, and Sir May help you Last name? Santillis. Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Jose Rosa. Sir, you're charged with fraud. The court finds probable cause. In a SunTrust bank, tried to cash a check for $895. Okay, State, do we have any priors on this gentleman?
One moment, Judge. I'm just pulling it up right now.
I'm sorry?
Sir, are you currently, do you have a place to live, or are you have an address?
Homeless.
Homeless? How long have you been here in Broward County?
2 days.
And where'd you come from?
Miami.
Okay,
Miami.
why'd you come to Fort Lauderdale from Miami?
So, the charges.
Were you homeless down in Miami?
Yeah, and trying to be in Camila's house.
Okay. How long have you lived down in Miami?
8 years.
Okay, go ahead.
And Your Honor, I'm not showing any priors from the state of Florida.
So I'm going to set your bond at $1,000 based on your lack of ties to the community. Thank you. How about David Willingham?
Oh, come on.
Me in jail?
Sir, possession of PVP, also known as FLACA, the court finds probable cause. Do we have any priors on this gentleman?
And Your Honor, I'm pulling that up right now.
Are you going to fire your own, or do you want to publish this one?
Remember, before you go to Odyssey, you also want to memorize new felony search. Go back to scroll 153481. So type that in 153481. Just let the judge know he's out right now on possession of PVP.
And Your Honor, it looks like this defendant is currently out on bond right now for possession of PVP.
What's the case number?
That case number is 15-003481 CF10A.
Okay. Sure, today the court's going to set your bond at $1,000. Revoke your bond on 15-003481 CF10. That bond's revoked. You're going to be held without bond. Thank you.
I'll take the order. So
Can I see Mr. Etienne, please? Sir, could you move to the side, please? Excuse me. Yeah, there. Thank you. Mr. Jorinsky Etienne.
Yes,
you were
sir.
charged with burglary of an occupied dwelling, grand theft, and then on count 3, that's an AF warrant for burglary of a dwelling. 4, 5, and 6 are probation violations. Now, court finds probable cause. State, do we have any priors on this gentleman?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, I'm showing that he has a prior burglary from 2014, prior burglary from 2013, another burg dwelling from 2014. I'm also showing grand theft from 2014, credit card fraud from 2013, criminal use of a personal ID in 2013 as well. And then finally, a possession of cannabis in 2012.
Okay. Sir, are you currently employed?
Yes, sir.
What type of work do you do?
Work for my father. I wash cars, sir.
Okay. Do you have any money in the bank?
No, sir.
Sir, it does appear that you continue to burglarize homes. You're on probation for it, and it looks like you keep doing it. And one time we had some children sleeping in the house when you allegedly went into their house. So I'm going to set your bond on count 1 at $50,000, count 2 at $1,000, count 3 at $50,000. You're going to be held without bond on the probation violations, which are burglary. Thank you.
Judge, before we move too far down the road, can I possibly get a SAP order for David Willingham, who's the gentleman before?
Sure. Bronson,
thank you.
Bronson Selbig, Damian Wilkie, Alfonso Hall.
All together? What about 10%?
You're going to have to take that up with your division judge and see him on Tuesday.
You're charged with grand theft. Court finds probable cause allegedly as a employee of Target, you and someone else allegedly committed some thefts. State, do you have any priors on Selbig?
No, Your Honor.
Selbig, how long have you lived down here in South Florida, sir?
I lived out here for about 2 years.
And do you have family down here?
Just my dad.
Do you have money in the bank?
No, not at the moment.
Sir, based on the amount you allegedly stole, which was significant, $2,300 along with your co-defendant, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. Thank you. How about Damian Wilkie?
President Domain? No, I'm sorry. Damian Wilkies, are you here?
I need another. I got it. Just if you just hand me one. Thank you.
He is President Domain, Judge.
Mr. Damian Wilkie, you're charged with 2 counts of carjacking. Count 3, fail to redeliver a hired leased vehicle. Count 4, 5, 6, and 7. Fail to stop or remain in an accident involving a non-serious injury. The court finds probable cause. State, do we have any criminal priors on this gentleman?
Yes, Your Honor. Just one moment.
Wilkie, are you currently employed?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any money in the bank?
No.
How long have you lived down here in South Florida?
All my life.
Do you have any financial means to bond out of jail today?
Maybe, maybe not.
Okay.
I have family.
How you pay rent if you don't work?
Well, the state's looking. Since defendant was operating an overdue rental vehicle, a Toyota vehicle, caused an accident in Fort Lauderdale, failed to stay on scene, and it was witnessed by a woman, Natalie LaFortune. Says defendant then proceeded, failed to stay on scene, witnessed. It says that he proceeded to another location. The defendant approached an occupied Hyundai vehicle that was occupied by Katie Talton. Says defendant forced the car keys out of Talton's hand, threw her onto the ground, then took possession of her vehicle and traveled to BJ's Wholesale in Fort Lauderdale. There, the defendant crashed the vehicle into some hedges, bailed out of the vehicle, then approached another person named Woodburn.
I'm done.
Attempted to force him out of his vehicle, but he was unsuccessful. Then fled from there. And then there was a show-up conducted, and the defendant was positively identified.
Your Honor, the defendant currently has a pending felony case, charges of possession of firearm by convicted felon, carrying concealed firearm, grand theft auto, possession of PVP, and resisting obstructing an officer without violence.
Okay. What is the case number?
14-13575, CF10A. Additionally, 2003, defendant was convicted of murder in the second degree, an attempted robbery with a firearm or deadly weapon, sentenced to 10-year state prison.
Attempted robbery?
Yes.
Do you know when his release date?
I can get that for you, Judge.
Judge, just for the record, count 2 sounds like an attempted carjacking rather than a completed carjacking, and I ask the court to adjust that.
Date of release, Your Honor, was February 1st, 2013.
Okay, so release. So he's going to be PR qualified, most likely.
I checked this guy yesterday. I saw it.
Date of release is going to be 2/13.
What I have to find out is, what is he on? Did he post bond on all these charges, or was he ROR on any of the charges? And I'll find that out.
Okay, so is count 2's an attempted? Let me see.
That's fine, Judge.
Right.
That's fine. So he bonded.
So the court notes that you're out right now on a FLACA charge and a grand theft auto, and it looks like you in this case allegedly have committed another. Fail to redeliver a vehicle is basically a grand theft auto, and you're out on a PVP, which is FLACA, and the court notes that people who are on FLACA behave in an unusual manner, and in this case it looks like that's what was going on. I can't be sure you're on FLACA, but it does appear to be unusual behavior. But the court is concerned about the safety of the community. You would crash your car, leave the scene, and then pull a woman out of her car, throw her to the ground, and then go after another man and try to pull him out of his car. And based on these facts, sir, I'm going to set your bond today. And also noting that you've been convicted of murder, attempted robbery. You've been out of jail for a couple of years now, maybe less than that. And then you're going to be PR qualified, prison releasee, reoffender qualified. That means your potential sentence can double on all these charges. The court's going to set your bond on count 1 at $125,000, count 2 at $125,000, count 3. The court will set that bond at $10,000, and fail to stop remain at an accident. Each one of those will be $5,000. So your total bond today will be $250,000, $60,000, $70,000, $280,000. If you make that bond, you'll have pretrial release with the GPS monitor. That'll be a total lockdown. I'll waive the cost. But in the meantime, the court's going to revoke the bond on the case you're out on, so you're going to be held without bond in any event. 14-13575, CF10, you're going to be held without bond until further order of the court. Thank you.
Your Honor, did you already order another time?
No contact with any of the alleged victims. That is Miss Natalie Fortune, Miss Katie Talton, and I believe Mr. Woodburn. Thank you. How about
Hall?
Alfonso Hall?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hall, you are charged with giving a false identification to the police, resisting arrest without violence, tampering with evidence, and count 4 is a violation of probation, no bond. 5, same thing. Count 3, your bond's $1,000. Thank you.
Good luck. What is it, down to none with no bond? Correct. Thank you. Bobby Walden, Bobby?
May I see Bobby Walden and Jerron Thomas and Christopher Ruiz?
He has to go in.
Okay, finished. All right. You can go outside, sir. You finished. How about
Where's Bobby Walden?
Yes.
Sir,
jail, Judge.
Mr. Walden, you're charged with sexual assault. I'm not sure. Is it custodian or can it be custodian / familial?
I think it's the statute covers both, Your Honor.
So, on a alleged victim, did we get her age?
Your Honor, I can tell you, this is a filed case.
Yeah.
And if it pleases the court, I could proffer, I'm looking at our reports, the date of birth of the alleged victim is victim BG 1/10/99, which would have made her under 18 at the time of the alleged incident in 2013.
So it would have made her
Approximately
14 years old?
13, 14,
Yeah.
approximately.
Okay, so the court's going to find probable cause today to this charge, and I realize he was brought down from Georgia, allegedly fled to Georgia.
And, Your Honor, the state is going to be seeking a significant bond, multiple reasons. One, I can inform the court, and if you'd like, I can show you. It's going to be the state's intent to seek to have Mr. Walden qualified as a habitual offender in this case. We've already filled out the paperwork to submit to the court at his arraignment. This stems from his prior record in Georgia, which I'll get into in a moment. Your Honor, Mr. Walden has multiple aliases out of the state of Georgia. We've seen so far, looking through the reports and everything, he's used at least 3 different Social Security numbers, or given 3 different Social Security numbers in the past in the state of Georgia. His prior record, starting with most recent, and this is all out of the state of Georgia, 2014 DWLS, 2012 possession of firearm by a convicted felon. He was sentenced to 2 years in state prison.
Out of Georgia?
These are all out of Georgia. 2012 possession of firearm by convicted felon, 2 years state prison. 2008 possession of tools for commission of a crime, false ID to law enforcement, 5 years state prison. In 2003 he was convicted of a parole violation. In 1998 he was convicted of a parole violation. 1997 possession of tools for commission of a crime. 96 burglary and theft, 2 years state prison. 94 burglary, 2 years state prison. 93 false name or ID and purchase of controlled substance. 91 child abandonment and defrauding the state. He was sentenced to 12 months in county jail. He had more, Your Honor, but those were the most significant, and I didn't think it was necessary to go even much further. Your Honor, what I would also note is cause of concern, since whatever the court does today is going to be with the intent purpose to have him follow the court's release conditions. He has been convicted twice of parole violations in his past, showing he has been unable to follow release conditions upon release from prison in the past. He's also had numerous probation violations in the past in the state of Georgia, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Miller, do you have anything you'd like to add on this defendant?
Judge, I didn't get a chance to interview him. If you wish to inquire, I have no objection.
Mr. Walden, do you have any money in the bank?
No, not.
Do you have any financial?
I don't have no money.
Do you have any
I don't have no
financial
money.
resources to bond out with? Do you have any financial resources?
No, I get a check every month.
How much is the check for?
Oh, my disability check is $583 a month.
Now, do you own any land or property here in Broward County?
No, it doesn't.
Do you own land or property anywhere?
No.
Okay. All right. And all right, sir. Sir, I do note allegedly a sexual assault on a 15-year-old girl here in Broward. and there is a alleged witness to this, a relative, and it says that as soon as this happened, you allegedly fled to the state of Georgia. I noticed that you were brought down from Georgia, from a jail up there. I also note, sir, that you have a lengthy record out of the state of Georgia. Parole violations, burglaries, theft, drugs, fraud, child abandonment, possession of a weapon by a convicted felon, false ID. You have multiple aliases, social security numbers. Go ahead, Steve.
The only other thing I would just note, and I think it just goes to just how serious these allegations are. Your Honor, today he's facing a first-degree felony only because of when this allegedly occurred. Your Honor, the Florida legislature has considered this offense to be so serious that I believe beginning in 2014, they elevated the potential punishment for this offense to a punishable by life offense.
Right.
Which he's obviously not facing because of when it allegedly occurred, but I think it's
going to set your bond based on your lack of ties to the community, your lengthy criminal record, the potential danger to the alleged victim. She's a witness in this case. The court also notes the strength of the case against you. You allegedly got this young woman pregnant, and the court will set your bond at $100,000 today. Also, taking into consideration your lengthy criminal record, you'll have pretrial release with the GPS monitor. That'll be a total lockdown. The court will order that you have no contact directly or indirectly with BG, directly or indirectly. That is Bravo Golf, Bravo Golf. No contact with AG, Alpha Golf, Alpha Golf. No contact with either person directly or indirectly. You must stay 500 feet from both of them. Thank you. How about Jerron Thomas? Jerron Thomas.
One moment, Judge.
Do you have any other priors other than Broward priors?
Mr. Thomas, you're charged with a robbery with a weapon.
It's 91? 1991. That's when he was born.
Robbery with a weapon. Court finds probable cause. State, do you have any priors?
One moment, Your Honor.
Somebody could actually make an argument this is robbery, deadly weapon, but...
Just not any information. I understand. It's just not any information about the knife at this point, Your Honor. Okay.
Robbery with the deadly weapon is a first-degree punishable by life felony. The state can ask to have him held with no bond, but he's not charged that way. He's charged with robbery with a weapon, which is a bondable offense.
2013, possession of cocaine. 2010, not exactly. 2010, he pled out a felony offense to a misdemeanor battery. 2009, delivery of marijuana for consideration. And I just want to check, Your Honor. Just want to make sure. Okay. End of record, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Miller, do you have anything you'd like to add on this defendant?
Judge, I didn't get a chance to interview him, but I would ask the court for an order allowing him to enter the SAT program.
I will allow that, sir. How long have you lived down here in South Florida?
All my life.
Are you currently employed?
No, no, sir.
Do you have money in the bank?
No, I have.
Do you have any financial resources?
I called my homeboys and they'll put up some money to try to get me out or something.
Sir, there was a 12-year-old boy on a swing set in Apollo Park using his cell phone yesterday evening. He said he was approached by you. You used a knife and threatened him, forcing him to hand over his cell phone.
Oh my God, I never had no knife.
There was a witness who interviewed this, who intervened, a witness intervened.
Yeah, flagging.
A struggle ensued between the witness and you, and the witness was able to get the cell phone back. Once you were under arrest, you allegedly said, I took the boy's phone, but I returned it. So you can't charge me with that, and allegedly said I did it. So based on the strength of the case against you,
I only did
the use of the knife, the level of violence.
Judge, if I may, before you find probable cause. Okay, Mr. Thomas is adamantly denying that there was a knife involved. There was no knife recovered at the scene. And the only evidence of a knife is an allegation that we don't even know where the allegation comes from. There's no factual basis. I'd ask the court to find probable cause for strong arm robbery.
Okay, well, factually, there's a, let the court be very clear about this. The defendant allegedly fled the scene. A bolo had to be issued, and the defendant was detained. Looks like some way away from where this allegedly occurred. So the defendant could have easily gotten rid of the knife in the time he fled. And it says here, each of the witness and the victim identified the defendant with 100% certainty he was the subject who had committed the armed robbery. So it seems pretty clear, along with his admissions. Court's going to set his bond today at $50,000. Based on these facts, his criminal record, order pretrial release with a GPS monitor. Waive the cost. The court will order he has no contact with. He's not allowed to return to Apollo Park, and he must stay 500 feet from the juvenile, whose initials are RB. RB, that is Romeo Bravo. Romeo Bravo. The court set your bond based on the alleged use of a weapon, your admissions, and the fact that two witnesses who identified you as the person who allegedly committed the crime. Thank you. Christopher Ruiz.
Off you go.
Ruiz, Christopher, let's go.
President of Maine.
Mr. Ruiz, possession of methamphetamine, resisting arrest. The court finds probable cause. Do you have any priors on Mr. Ruiz?
No, Your Honor.
Ruiz, how long have you lived down here in South Florida, sir?
Since October 23rd.
And what do you do for work right now?
Work for Hudson Liquidation.
Okay. Sir, do you still live on Harmony Lake Circle?
I was just visiting.
Well, where are you going to live when you get out of jail?
In Tampa.
You going to go to Tampa? How long?
Well, actually, I had to go back to Texas. Actually, I was thinking about going back to Texas.
Who lives? Do you know the person who lives on Harmony Lake Circle?
Yes, that's my father.
Okay, so you keep in touch with your father, right?
Yes, sir.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance today. You don't have to put up a bond, but I'm going to order you report to pretrial release today by 4 o'clock. His father lives here, so you got to... Well, does he? Well, I'm going to give him a Friday break on this. So, sir, you got to be at pretrial release today by 4 o'clock. You're going to be drug tested every week. You have to have a drug and alcohol evaluation. Now, sir, if you leave here and you don't continue with the program, you're going to get a warrant put out for you, all right?
Where's this place at?
It's right across the street
I'll
from where
take
you
care
are
of
right
it,
now.
Judge.
Thank you. Well, I gave so many significant bonds, I felt that I had to give the guy at the end of the document.
There you go, man.
You know?
Just give me the heads up if you want to come down for the third time.
So,
We'll set up the date.
I think that's a wrap. Am I correct?
Yeah.
That's it. We'll see if we went back here at 1 o'clock. We're out from 2:35. Ma'am, may we help you on something?
Okay.
What do you need?
Yes, I'm trying to figure out, it's a Willie Cunningham.
We didn't have Cunningham on this docket today.
Here.
We'll help you in a minute, right, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to figure out.